A beautiful Texas spring day in July. The structure faces north, so we're facing south right now. Out here in the parkway, all right, between the sidewalk and the curb and the parkway is where the water meter is. It's a manual water meter, an analog water meter, which is good for our purposes. Okay, if we look inside the dial here, you see that yellow sprocket. Okay, that's a flow indicator. Some people call it cheater wheel or cheater paddle. Call it what you will, but it's very sensitive. If water is going into the structure, potable, drinkable water is going into the structure, that moves. If the dishwasher's on, that moves. Somebody flushes the commode, that moves. If you have a leak, that moves. And if it's moving, you need to find out where the water is coming out. If it's someplace that you can ascertain, determine, someplace that you can see, well, there's that. And if it's someplace you can't see, you still have water. You still have water coming into the house. Okay, this is the Bonnie cart. The Bonnie cart. I'm gonna put some things up here. So people don't trip. Now, I'm not seeing a lawn sprinkler system for this home, although I am seeing a lawn sprinkler control timer in the detached garage. So I don't know what that's about. So we have the water meter here. In the front yard, we do not have an exterior bib faucet. I can't find one. I can't find an exterior bib faucet. I'm waiting for one to make a fool out of me. I'm waiting. I'm just not seeing it. Another thing that I'm not seeing is I am not seeing a main sewer clean out. Not an exterior bib faucet, not a main sewer clean out. Let's take a shortcut through the home here. So we have the back exterior faucet, bib faucet. Now this faucet has a couple characteristics. One, it's been repaired with a union, which is okay, but that is a repair. And that's rubber gasketed. It wasn't soldered. They're very dependable. It's still a patch. It's still a patch. The water supply line, at least to this point, this water supply line is galvanized. It's not very popular in this part of the country. The other parts of the country, I understand that it's more acceptable. But here, it's pretty much considered voodoo, old and problematic because of the minerals and the pH of our water. It doesn't interact with galvanized piping very well. So just know that. Also, this pipe is supposed to be secured. All right. And it's supposed to be insulated so that it doesn't freeze. We had a freeze last year, didn't we? And you're supposed to have a vacuum breaker on this to keep the water from, like if you had a swimming pool out here or garden hose, the barometric pressure from forcing the water back through the valve into the potable drinking water. So there should be a vacuum breaker right there. And I'm going to come along here. We're looking for between 40 and 80 psi. And it looks to me like we're getting right around 70 psi, which personally I consider ideal. Some people say you can't get enough water pressure, but yes you can. You're looking for flow. Flow is what we're looking for. We're not looking for water pressure. I mean, we are looking for water pressure, but more is not necessarily better. After 80, it puts too much stress on your faucets and your fixtures and the connections like that. So that we have 70, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I'm going to come back and get a still image of that. So that's the water supply. Back to the drain again. back to the drain. I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing any main sewer cleanouts. I'm also not seeing a main water shutoff valve. Okay, you should be able to turn the water off at a valve around somewhere in, on, or around the structure. So we don't have a main water. You might have to do it at the meter. That might be your option. You might have to do it at the meter. And that's the city's, that's the municipality. That's not your valve at the meter. The meter doesn't belong to you. So what do we learn? We learned that we passed the water pressure test. We learned that we don't have a main water shutoff valve. We learned that we only have a water shutoff valve in the backyard. That valve is not properly supported, it's not properly insulated, it does not have a vacuum breaker. We learned that we have 70 psi. We also learned that this is a good one, so hang on. It's just getting good. This is the gas meter. It's in the alley. It's outside of the fence. This is actually where you turn on, unlike the water, but this is acceptable to turn off the gas here, and we have. This will go with the water meter too. Parallel is on, perpendicular is off. This gas has been turned off. What does that mean to us? Well, it means that, well, I sent out a letter of intent. It was the seller's responsibility to have the gas on. Sunday, it takes legally, that would require the municipality, the utility service, to legally turn that on. Otherwise, that's what's known as tampering. So, we know that the furnace is inoperable. The furnace will not work today. Alright? We know that the water heater is inoperable. The water heater will not work today. We know that the kitchen gas range is inoperable. It will not work today. So, all those things need to be checked out by specialists. Or they can pay me to come back. You know, however it works. I can do that. This place is close to my house. It won't irritate me too bad. This is where the gas enters the house, and you see that we do not have a valve here. You see that we do not have a valve here, so that's why we have to go to the meter for it. Okay? It enters the south side of the house, south side of the structure. Alright? And inside of here, you know, these paving stones are not dimensionally uniform, and they may be trip hazards. I think I might have said that already, but here we go. This is, and we seem to have power to it. This is a lawn sprinkler. Okay. Says off. Alright. Do manual. Auto. Manual. We don't have instruction. Well, yeah, we do. I'll play this a little bit and see if we get a lawn sprinkler. It's hooked up for some reason. But really, I don't think you have a lawn sprinkler system. Gas enters that part of the house. Meter's in the yard, and the meter's off. The meter's off. 70 psi, galvanized piping. Also, we got that union on there, to make note of.